The South American Harpy eagle, one of the largest birds of prey in the world, and probably the strongest. Have you heard of the golden eagle that can even take down a young wolf? Well, the Harpy eagle is almost 1.5 times bigger than that. It can grow up to 110 centimeters, 3.6 feet, tall, so when it's perched, it kind of looks like a person crouching. And this bird is seriously armed. Its massive talons are so big that an adult man's fist could fit inside them. Just imagine the impact when it strikes. Its dagger-sharp claws can take down prey in an instant. On top of that, its powerful beak is strong enough to pierce even a young turtle's shell. Because Harpy eagles live deep in the nearly inaccessible Amazon jungle, scientists didn't know much about them for a long time. They avoid people and don't like attention. But there's one incredible story that revealed just how powerful these birds really are. When they built the Panama Canal, it was a massive engineering project with huge environmental consequences. One of them was rising water levels, which led to the formation of Barrow, Colorado Island around 1913. By pure chance, the only large mammals left on the island after the flooding were howler monkeys. Lucky for them, there were no natural predators left to threaten their survival. With no danger around, the howler monkey population exploded. By 1999, scientists estimated there were about 1,000 of them on the island. That's a lot, considering the place is only 15.6 square kilometers, 6 square miles. The entire island was covered in dense jungle, so the monkeys had plenty of food and space to thrive. But decades of living without predators completely changed the monkeys' behavior. They lost their vigilance, forgot how to defend themselves, and stopped being cautious. That turned out to be a fatal mistake when, in the early 21st century, a pair of Harpy eagles started visiting the island. The island's isolation wasn't a problem for these powerful winged hunters. They easily crossed the narrow water barrier. What's interesting is that throughout all the years of observations, scientists only ever saw one pair of Harpy eagles hunting on Barrow, Colorado. It was as if the predators were keeping the island a secret. And honestly, it makes sense. Hunting there was like a family shopping trip for them. The howler monkeys, who had long forgotten what natural selection was, barely even hid. For the harpies, hunting them was so easy that it was like strolling through a supermarket. The eagles silently weaved through the trees, snatched their prey effortlessly, and flew off. Their incredible strength not only allowed them to take down a howler with a single strike, but also to carry it away. Despite the fact that an adult monkey weighs about the same as the eagle itself, the primates had no way to fight back. Most of the time, they didn't even realize they were under attack until it was too late. At first, the howlers were completely helpless against this new threat, and the harpies' unique hunting tactics only made things worse for them. Most daytime birds of prey, like the golden eagles we talked about earlier, hunt by soaring at high altitudes. They can glide on air currents for hours, scanning the ground for prey before suddenly diving down for the kill. But Harpy eagles do things differently. These birds live in dense forests where prey has too many hiding spots to be spotted from high above. So, Harpy eagles have adapted to flying swiftly between branches, making sharp turns to ambush their targets by surprise. Plus, they can fly almost completely silently even when flapping their wings fast. Before long, the howler monkey population started shrinking. But the harpies weren't wiping them out all at once. They only hunted every few days, taking down one big prey at a time. They didn't even settle on the island, just visited occasionally. But even that was enough to make a huge dent in the monkey population, which at first was just panicking over the new threat. But you've got to give the howlers some credit. They adapted. Not only did they remember how to hide among the trees, but they also came up with a unique defense strategy. Howler monkeys communicate with loud calls that can be heard up to 5 kilometers, over 3 miles away. And to fight back against the harpies, they started using their voices in a whole new way. Whenever a harpy flew through the jungle, the monkeys spotted it and let out specific alarm calls. As soon as the others heard the warning, they reacted instantly. The females and babies hid deep in the foliage, while the males with the loudest voices climbed to the treetops and started yelling at the harpies. Surprisingly, this actually worked. The chaotic, deafening screams confused the eagles, forcing them to retreat or change targets. It seemed like the howlers might actually drive the harpies away for good. After all, the birds could always hunt elsewhere if the island became too much of a hassle. But Harpy eagles aren't just strong, they're smart and incredibly adaptable. The pair hunting on the island was monogamous. Harpies mate for life and raise their young together. The female lays 1 or 2 eggs, but usually only one chick survives. The parents take care of it for up to 2 years until it's fully independent. This slow reproduction makes harpies vulnerable to extinction, but it also means they form long-lasting partnerships. perfect for working as a team. And as it turns out, they're not just hunters. They can strategize, plan, and even come up with new ways to catch their prey. Over time, these harpy eagles developed a hunting strategy that was unusual for their species. One of them would deliberately make itself visible among the branches, triggering the howler monkey's usual response, females and babies hiding, while the males climbed to open spots and started screaming. That's when the second eagle, hidden in the dense foliage, would silently strike from behind. Thanks to its incredible agility, it stayed out of sight until the very last moment. Then, with a lightning-fast attack, it would snatch a monkey off the branch, sinking its long talons into its prey. The powerful grip caused injuries so severe that the monkey had no chance to fight back. Just like that, the pair secured another meal, while the rest of the troop panicked and scattered, helpless to stop them. What's interesting is that this is the only recorded case of harpy eagles using this kind of hunting strategy. However, on the other side of the world, in Southeast Asia, lives the Philippine eagle. These birds aren't closely related to harpies, but they do look somewhat similar due to their shared forest-dwelling lifestyle. Philippine eagles are lighter and less powerful but have long legs and relatively short wings, allowing them to maneuver through dense forests just as skillfully. And they regularly use the same hunting tactic. One bird distracts the prey while the other delivers the final blow. It's a perfect example of how two completely unrelated species, living on opposite sides of the planet, develop the same strategy independently. At this point, the howler monkeys had no way to defend themselves. Week after week, the harpy eagles were thinning their numbers, hunting about 3 monkeys every 7 days. Over just a few years, this single pair of predators reduced the howler population by several hundred. Almost a century of steady population growth was undone in a matter of years. In fact, the eagles wiped out about 30% of the howlers in an incredibly short time. If this had continued, they could have done irreversible damage to the entire population. On top of that, the terrified monkeys were forced to retreat deeper into the island, forming smaller groups, which led to a decline in their birth rates. But then, at some point, the harpy eagles simply stopped coming to Barrow, Colorado. No one knows exactly why, but it might have something to do with the increasing activity of the local research center. The island had been a protected reserve since 1923, but in the 21st century, scientific work there expanded significantly. Harpy eagles tend to avoid human contact, so it's possible that the rising presence of researchers pushed them to return to their usual hunting grounds. There, they had to chase after much faster, more elusive prey, and even face predators that could threaten them in return. Still, in the endless jungles of the Amazon, these secretive birds have plenty of space to stay hidden. Maybe for this harpy eagle pair, their time on Barrow, Colorado was like a little honeymoon getaway. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.